All right, all right, all right. Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon, team. I hope you're all having an amazing Sunday so far. Hope you had a great weekend so far. And hopefully, you're all ready for an amazing week ahead. Hopefully, an amazing week ahead because we have a full trading week. So, last week was Juneteenth holiday. And we had a break in the middle of the week on Wednesday. That's when the market was closed, so the volume was low on the lower end as well as in the early days of the week, and then towards the end of the week. We also had triple witching, which ended up affecting the prices on SPY. And what ended up happening is we have a gap on SPY, but really there is no gap. So that's also another interesting factor that ended up affecting the markets and also spooking a lot of traders out, including myself. Another factor that also affected traders was the gap up we had on the S&P 500 futures markets, and that's because we had the rollover. So every time we have the contract rollover where the futures contracts expire and a new one comes out, you get these periods of, let's say, gap up or gap down. We can see it here. You can see it here too every time. And yeah, so that's why you see gaps on the S&P 500, but realistically, we didn't get much moves. And you can see that within the price change up here, where SPY only went down 0.13%, which is not even not much at all. So I would say the realistic price on the S&P 500 right now for SPY in particular would be around 547, maybe 546.73, and not down here. But yeah, team, aside from that, heading into this week, how are you all doing? First of all, hope you're all doing great. How did you all do last week? Did you close green? Did you close red? How was your week overall? How did the NVIDIA sell-off affect you heading into the closing week? I got messed up with a Dell call. Oh, interesting. I bought it at a poor time. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense, Aaron, because Dell had an amazing move, and honestly, oh, I see what happened. I see what happened. Dell being a chip stock or being among the chip stocks also took a beating similar to many other chip stocks, except one we have on our watch list, which is AMD, which we'll go over shortly. But yeah, Dell was really nice. We got news right here overnight. This is where we had news, and I brought it to our attention. But one of our team in the team's trade ideas, I'm trying to see who it was, and honestly, it may have been Rody. He shared Dell way early on, sharing the setup way early on before we got the news that pushed it up from 135 all the way to 160, 161. So that definitely was a great move. And I feel like if I was involved with the 2K cash account, I would have for sure taken an advantage of a setup like that. Um, but yeah, team, I hope you all had a great weekend. Take back some games. By the way, Stephen, I do have Tesla on our watch list here, and I'll share my analysis quickly. I see Hilda's in here as well. Really awesome to see you. Um, Looking forward to your participation in the 2K cash account. And hopefully, you guys, I really hope I do a good job this time. This time, I will make sure that we don't go heavy in any positions. And we'll try to I wasn't planning on sharing this on the Sunday meeting, but I'll go ahead and share a little bit on my thought process on the 2K cash account. So what happened was I went to my brother's wedding. I came back and basically uh, most of our team were waiting for me to make a decision on selling Tesla, and there were some of our team that decided to sell it on their own, and they did an amazing job. Now, the issue was I had told the team, or I had encouraged the team prior to my brother's wedding, um, that I would want them to wait for me until I make the call on when we are going to sell. So I was like, you know what? I'm never going to be distracted. And the 2K cash account is my account. So I'm going to be selling it. If I'm going to sell on my account, I'm going to say I sold it and I will sell it. And everyone else will sell it with me. I had encouraged the team to basically sell with me, or wait for me, basically not sell and wait for me. Now that was a big mistake. So I have learned from that. So going back, I'm going to revert that and have our team make the decisions on their own on when the best time would be to sell it and even get back in. So what I would like essentially for our team to do is get in the position when I alerted, right? Or just around when I alerted, you can buy it maybe a little bit cheaper. Maybe you'll end up purchasing it a little bit higher. You end up buying it, and if it goes up, if it gives you, let's say, a 40% move, a 20-30% move, you can secure profits, and then as it goes down again, you can buy back in again and then do the same. And I want you to do this like 5 times and whatnot until finally the stock ends up doing what we are expecting it to do. But if you see me exit the position, try to detach as well. Try, especially if you see me exit the position, try to de-risk on the size. But when it comes to, let's say, securing profits on the winners, or even on the losers, I really want you guys to also take it into your own consideration to want to, maybe for the selling, you could wait for me, but for the profit taking, for most of the parts, I really do encourage you guys to take profits on your own. And what I want you to do is just secure profits and get back in, because I'm telling you, that particular trade will end up giving us at least 5 opportunities until we eventually get out, or until it eventually goes in the direction we expect it to, or it goes wrong. So in that time being, you can definitely day trade it or even swing trade it day to day, knowing that the contract would have a lot of time, and it would greatly cushion your position there if you do end up doing that. Can you please provide a hard boundary while buying in front? Oh, and yes, that's what I will do, you guys. In regards to, let's say, the buying, I will have the 2K cash account ready. I will have the 2K cash account on the screen, and then I will be like, hey, you guys, I'm going to purchase it right here, and I will purchase it then. And if you guys have been part of the 2K Cash account before, you'll see that I share my screenshot with all of the trades before and after I sell it. So and how that will affect our account. So I'm really looking forward to that. And yeah, I wish I had done it this whole time, because I feel like we would have learned so much through this journey. But just in the time being that we were doing it, it was a great learning journey for me, and I'm sure for many others on our team, especially those that are just new to our team, and don't have a lot of understanding on, let's say, price action, risk management, and all that good stuff about successful traders. Team, thank you so much for joining us. Let's go over the S&P 500 analysis really quick, and then we'll go over my watch list. Now, my thoughts regarding the S&P 500 for market navigation. I'm going to tell you that we now have a firm resistance here at 450, and I think this is going to be the top. I don't think we will see higher prices for some time, and I think from here we are going to start seeing some overwhelming supply towards the downside to retract back down towards the 20 EMA line. We are greatly overbought here. And every time we get very, very far away from the 20 EMA line, every time we extend far away, we always, one way or another, pull back. If you look at this particular pullback, that took the S&P 500 from 531 all the way down to 518. That's pretty good. And the same thing can happen here. So if this is here, if this ends up being the case, we are going to take advantage of the market downside, and I want the team to do the same. Now, really do keep in mind that price is still around the 547 area, despite it saying 543 here, and that's because of the triple witching effect that we had on the price chart. So we are still greatly overbought, and the first level of support that I'm looking for is 539. So the first line of support, if we see any weakness heading into this week, is going to be 539. Just keep that in mind, okay, team? This is for the S&P 500. Inverted hammer. Yes, sir. So as Chris pointed out, the S&P 500 on the weekly chart printed an inverted hammer, as we can see here, or like a shooting star. Now the real price would be somewhere around 547, so it would be a doji candle similar to this one. But even if it is a doji candle, which it is, that would still get a good sell-off reaction because of the levels that we're at. Now it's also important to keep in mind that despite us making all-time highs, we are still in the fear territory. So if you look up the BOFA, I think that's what it is, for you know, for whether the market's in, let's say, greed, full greed, fear, all of that stuff, you'd see it there. And yeah, it really is crazy, Chris. Like, I cannot believe it. It's mind blowing. I've never seen such a thing, and I don't know where this fear is coming from exactly. But yeah, so if that ends up being the case, team, just watch out, okay? Because we're greatly overbought from the 20 EMA line, and anytime we are greatly overbought, we end up one way or another pulling back to the 20 EMA line, turning it into support, and then advancing higher within the bigger uptrend. So heading into this week, the first line that I'm giving you here, the first line of support that I think buyers are predestinedly going to retest, is going to be around 539, and that is where prior demand was established here. So now, for those of you that are also part of the mentorship program, here's what we do. Now we're going to draw a level of resistance. Now here's what we can do. For now, we are going to draw it right here. Why should we draw it here? Because this right here, these three give us more data points than that particular one right there. So if we come back up to 548 anytime this week, and we retest that level and we clearly reject, it should be very clear. And I'm pretty sure price is also going to reflect that reaction very negatively to the downside, because this is now established resistance. So if that is established resistance here, we need to go back down to somewhere around support, retest 539, build support, build further support there, get the liquidity, the buyers, and then head back up towards 548. And if we break out this time, we break out. If not, we double top and whatnot. But so far, I think this level has become a solid resistance. So any weakness heading into this week below that level, we are going to short the market towards 539. Now, even if I don't alert the short, I want you guys to take this weekly watch list into consideration, and here's what I want you to do. I just want you to be aware of this level here. And as soon as you see any sort of weakness in the markets, and it's very clear when you sense weakness in the market, because traders are reacting negatively, stocks are behaving weird, Apple's down, Microsoft's down, and Nvidia's down. Nvidia's showing weakness opposed to the prior days and weeks of showing strength. So there's going to be all sorts of engine failure signs that are going to say price is going to pull back. So if that turns out to be the case, get yourself a hedge, or just pretty much take advantage of that opportunity one way or another. If you're a if you're an experienced trader, and you're going to look at this opportunity like me, then you're going to say, oh, okay, this is looking good. I'm going to buy a put here to try and day trade, or swing trade this setup here. And then if we come back down to 539 and we still show weakness, then we still have the gap here at 536, and then this gap here at 528. Now, really, the level that I'm looking for, that I think is going to be an amazing dip buy for the S&P 500 if the market were to show any weakness below 539. That if let's say this was a stop loss hunt, right, or someone to shake out the weak hands, then I would target this smart money concept here, this smart money demand zone retest, and this is where I would be a buyer, especially looking into I can there we go, sorry about that, team. Especially looking into the fact that the sector rotations are amazing. We're rotating between the sectors, and the market is moving up in a healthy way. So while we're getting tech to pull back, for example, on Friday session, we had XLK down, which is technology, industrials were down, financials were down big, energy was down also, utilities, and chip sector as well. Chip sector has been on a pullback on the last 2 days, on a correction, and it could see more. We'll look at Nvidia shortly, but you can see some of the sectors that ended up gaining rotation. XLY, very interesting that XLY gained rotation, because team, couple of the stocks that's on our watch list is within the XLY sector of the S&P 500. And you looking at this particular sector, what are you seeing so far? It looks like a head and shoulders that failed to break down, and so far bulls have made a higher high above that high there, and they have the benefit of the doubt within the uptrend. So it looks to me like they're heading towards that predestined target of 185 to retest that resistance and see if they're going to break out and trigger an expansion. Now, sharing my thoughts here on this analysis here, do I think that they're going to get this expansion on consumer discretionaries? Now, consumer discretionaries are stocks like Home Depot, Tesla, Amazon. We'll take a look at their setup shortly, but looking at this amazing setup here, it looks like they broke resistance, major resistance at 174, and looks like on the weekly time frame here, where each candle represents 1 week, looks like they closed the prior week very close, very strong, and considering the seasonality and cyclical side of things on retail stocks, um I think this is an amazing setup. I think this particular sector is going to continue to get more upside, more basically more demand towards this gap at 196, and then perhaps retest all-time highs at 211 on Amazon and Tesla. Now, going over, let's go over to analyze, and let's take a look at the stocks in the sector. Amazon is 24%, Tesla is 13%, HD is 9%, and McDonald's is 3%. Now, check this out, team. Going over my weekly watch list here, let's see the stocks we have. We have Amazon, we have Tesla, and why isn't we had one more? We have NKE as well. There was one more stock. Oh, McDonald's. We can't forget this one on our watch list as well. McDonald's. There we go. Yeah, so a lot of those stocks here are part of XLY, and that makes sense why they're showing up, and they look so great on the setups. How's it going, Chef Mike? Always awesome to see Chef Mike. Bahar too. I see Bahar is in here as well, sharing Amazon and Tesla. Let's take a look at Amazon. So Amazon here, honestly, you guys saw it on the weekly watch list. I just shared it. This setup looks like we're breaking the supply candle, and it looks like they're gonna go for an expansion. So 191.50 70 is the squeeze. Once they get above that, that's where the shorts have to cover, and this could see an expansion above all-time highs. Now, the reason why I'm looking at Amazon in particular here is because it's it's really starting to close above 187.94, which is the prior all-time highs. Now, Amazon has reported four consecutive positive earnings, and again, considering the cyclical and the seasonality side of things, they're known to get rotation because spending picks up as you guys the busy season starts heading into the holidays, as you guys know, and that's going to further get more growth for Amazon. So I'm really watching Amazon here with the team. We're currently in two contracts. We're in the September 20, I believe, 205 call. And then we're also in a January 17, 2025, 220 call strike. Yeah, it's further out of the money, but it's the way we like to invest in the future with our strategy. Um, but yeah, Amazon on our watch list here, team. Now going over the 4 hour time frame here, Amazon clearly had a bullish engulfing candle into Friday session, and the TTM squeeze tells us that we are going to get significant upside right into the opening session, perhaps for Amazon here, with buyers trying to break that resistance at 191.70 and getting that uptrend expansion started. The 4 hour tells us that we have the breakout here. So yeah, team, so far Amazon's looking great. Let's take a look at the hourly as well. Looks like base rally broke out above 188, and so far we have a massive demand candle that's about to pierce above the 70% RSI, which triggers the melt up operation for a rally towards this level of resistance at 191.70. So this is good for those that are holding. Now, another stock. Now, this is a chip stock, team. Although this is a chip stock, I'm really watching AMD here because AMD, while all of the chip stocks have been down over the last 2 days, this has been getting upside. And despite getting some sell off, buyers came right back up and almost closed above the prior day candle. So this is a setup that I'm really looking forward to. And as long as bulls continue to hold above 158, which they did, and especially the 160s, as long as bulls keep it above 160s, above this demand candle, which had massive demand on the volume side as well, this is going to be destined to break out above 169 and pretty much retest 187, which is our second target. So our first target is really 174 because we know that if they come up anywhere above 166, especially this demand candle, now that we have this demand candle with by volume, we know that we're going to head towards that target. Now I do have another chart here. This is one of the trend lines that I'm looking for bulls to break this week. If they can break that with volume and they break above, let's say you're a wary trader and you don't want to participate and buy it since we are still below the 20 EMA line, what you can do is as soon as they get above 166.80, you can trade the momentum of this setup towards 187 area and whatnot. Honestly, this is a stock that I really like, team, and the fact that we have been consolidating here. We built demand, we established demand, and we have a resistance up here. It just makes it predestined, and that's why I called it predestined, because it makes it how do I say this? It prophesizes this particular resistance there, as we have studied in the mentorship program. It prophesizes price action to go for a test at that level and test the liquidity, basically grab the liquidity of that level there. So it's just beautiful at 214 to 220. I think this is the range for AMD if we break out from this resistance line here. um Now, another setup that I have for the team, and I've been sharing this one for some time. Um, I do want to share, if you guys want more context on the analysis, um, we'll go ahead and take a look at it really fast for the team to see what contracts I'm holding. So this is AMD, and nothing has changed from this analysis. If we look at the chart, we only have 1 day difference really, just a 1 day difference, and nothing changed in that given time. So let's go to AMD. You see that the red candle, so nothing's changed. The analysis is still the same. My view is still the same. And just like Apple, this can go from 160s to 220s really fast, especially if we get the right catalyst. So um, this contract is one that I'm holding, January 16, 2026, 250 call. But you can definitely trade other contracts as well if you like. Um, Now let's move on to our LVS analysis. LVS is a resort company that can greatly benefit from seasonality and cyclical rotations. The stock rebounded strongly at 43 support level and looking to head towards 49 and then 57 heading into the summer. So LVS, Las Vegas Sands Corp. We actually shared this stock before this big move happened. So if you attended the prior day session, you caught an amazing trade off of that demand reaction, because what happened was we shared it when we got this candle, right? And then yeah, we pulled back throughout the week. But what ended up happening is we had a massive demand candle that basically engulfed at least five prior day sessions, five prior red day sessions, and broke out of that downtrend resistance. So now that we're above the 20 EMA line, volume is really kicking in, and the TTM squeeze is telling us that we are going to test 47 and even fill this gap at 50.34 area. So for LVS, I'm buying to open. If you are, let's say, if you want to trade it, if you want to take a short, let's say a short swing trade, you can buy to open LVS August 18 45 call at 2.60 premium or lower for a short term swing trade. With our strike in the money, a move towards 50, which is our first target, would yield great profits on that $45 strike. Now, for those of you that are longer term traders, and you have you have become a believer in our strategy for being a patient investor and just holding these far out of the money calls, you can pick up LVS January 16, 2026 call, 60 strike at 3.0 for a long-term leap trade. Now 60.0 is around $60 is around here. But if, let's say, the stock, considering the contract expires in January 2026, if it goes to $54 anytime in the next 5 to 6 months and does one of these moves, the contract is going to give you at least 300% profit. So and if it goes up, if it, let's say, goes deeper in the money, the way that our Apple contracts did, you guys remember, right? We called out Apple January 2026, 220 calls right here, you guys, right here, right here. And you know what happened? Those calls went in the money 2 years before the expiration. I mean, a long time before, a year and a half before expiration, which is a long time. That means that your contract ends up going up anywhere between 500 to 1,000%, and that's amazing for a long-term trade that would never ever lose 900%, because all you can really lose is about 100%. And in most cases within these long-term contracts, you never lose 100%. Like, you will, of course, trades will go wrong, but I assure you, the stock itself will give you many opportunities to get out before you lose 100%, is what I'm saying. So Definitely amazing setup on LVS. Now let's move on to J&J team. J&J is another one that I'm watching. I traded it on the first bounce here. And that's what I mean, team. Like that's what I meant earlier when I said if I trade something, right? Because let's say we believe that it is very, very overbought. Um, and let's say we skewer our profits and the stock ends up going down again to, let's say, support, and then has demand reactions, buyer reactions. I want you to take that trade again. If let's say they print that demand candle, you can trade the momentum. Here's how I take it, and here's how this will cut many years of experience for you guys, trials and errors. If you see a massive demand candle like this that ends up taking out a great amount of uh, these candles here, these consolidation candles, and there's a, let's say there's, it's closing in this similar fashion, and it will do it many times. Always expect it to break out because the size, the demand of this particular candle is far greater than many sessions of those. So the likelihood of another candle following through is very high. But yeah, so far J&J looks, I mean, amazing buy on J&J. It's above the 20 EMA line with strong demand this time, and our target is going to be 154. So you can trade the dips on this one. You can buy the dips on J&J and continue to trade the upside for this particular contract. Now, if you want to take a safer approach, actually, this would be too far. Considering we would be trading the momentum, I'd trade. Okay, no, not the July one. Maybe the July 19 is a bit short term, but I think this strike would still be good for the 150 call. Let's see if I can find something better. I'd prefer the August. There we go. Scratch the July 19 out, you guys. We already made profits twice. We made two particular trades. Actually, our first trade was June 21st expiration, I believe. And then the second trade on J&J was July 19 expiration. Both trades gave us 100%. So the next 100% that we would want to catch would be on an August 16 expiration. So August 16 expiration, maybe the 150 call on a good discount this week. That would be great. If we can catch the 150 call, which would be very close to the money, with 54 days left, if we can catch it at a cheaper premium than the current price, that will be amazing. So do keep that in mind for the 150 call. All right, so now we covered J&J, we covered AMD, we covered Amazon. Let's take a look at NKE. So NKE analysis, I posted on the weekly chart. Now, the only thing about this is it has earnings coming up this week. So I would only post the analysis for those that are holding it with me, because there are some traders that are holding Nike with Rainbow and I. Personally, I got the January 17, 2025 115 call. I think Rainbow may have the same one as well. And it's currently at 2.8 premium, and I see this as pretty much any good potential catalyst for this particular stock in the next 3 months would give that contract great potential. So the stock has earnings this Thursday, so I'll be on the lookout for that positive catalyst potential in the horizon. As we can see here, this is 2013, and this trend line has been intact since 2013. And finally, we have a demand candle with the yellow momentum signal backing it up, and we are above the 20 EMA line on the weekly time frame as well. So this can be a good trade. And my first price target on this one is 100, 107, and then 123. With good earnings, I think we can easily break this resistance and even retest that particular level there. All right, team. So now, in regards to QQQ, which is the tech analysis, I forgot to do the analysis for this one. Here's another reason to expect a pullback within some of the tech stocks. As we can see here, we have been in this bullish channel, and we are scraping against the resistance line here, and we had this bearish bearish engulfing candle, and so far we closed Friday below it, confirming it, which tells me that we can go for more downside here at 468. So we have a gap here at 468, which is a retest at the 20 EMA line. I think that will be the first bounce that bullish traders can take advantage of, expecting the market to have a big rebound reaction. So you can do two things. You can either short the market here below with a confirmation below 478.76, which is Friday's low. If they break Friday's support heading into this week anytime, you can take the big advantage, which I'm telling you, if they lose, especially by the time they get to this level, if they lose that big demand, there's going to be some big buyers, big institutions dumping positions, and the first target is going to be 471. But I don't think we would get a pause at 471. Maybe a short-term pause, but I think eventually they would just go for the gap fill as well, and get the gap out of the way to retest the 20 EMA line. So for QQQ, I'm expecting it to pull back this week towards the white 20 EMA line. So what happens with the 20 EMA line is every time we expand, we go for a retest at the 20 EMA line. We retest the 20 EMA line, show clear demand above it, right, as we can see. And then what we do is we go for an expansion. And then what's happening is we're getting another one of those maybe mini pullbacks perhaps before we see more upside. But yeah, so far, any questions, team, before we move on to other analysis? All right. Um, but yeah, team, so far we're expecting some short-term pullback. So even if the market ends up going back up, expect it to pull back. Expect it to just kind of like get dumped down by some evil red energy until we really get a retest at those levels there, which would be the smart money zone there. And yeah, let's see how this week goes. I'll keep us updated, team, but one thing I will say is like I myself get I get very sometimes I get very tunnel visioned, and history itself just speaks volumes. You can take a look at it. No matter what kind of uptrend, we always pull back. We extend away from the 20 EMA, we get a pullback, and then we come back up, and that's when the trend resumes. So far we are above the 20 EMA. So going back to these examples as well, you can see we break that resistance there. We went for an expansion. We come back up to the 20 EMA. So what I talk about is that opportunity. We will come to the 20 EMA, and just as we retested, we will catch the bounce on that trade. So that's the first great trade that you can catch. And sorry, the second, actually, the first one would be the drop. You would go with the momentum, and then the second would be the bounce. So you can see we always pull back to the 20 EMA, even if we get very overbought one way or another. We pull back down close, we go back up again, we pull back down close, the momentum eventually exhausts, we go down. But going back to the current prices here, we are very overbought. So we are in a sort of we are at the peaks of it, and it's hard to believe that we would go down. But I think as we go into this week, it'll be clearer and clearer that this momentum could be exhausting a little bit. um, what price do we expect QQQ to pull back to? For QQQ, the first line of support that I'm looking for is 471. So 471 is the first line of support that I'm looking for where I expect buyers to show up. Especially like if here's the thing, team. I just noticed another pattern here as well. Let's take a look at morning star reversal. So I typed in, evening star. Sorry. Evening star. All right, so here we are, team. this particular, you see this three candle play here on the daily time frame. It's very similar to this one that I just searched up. We have a large green candle, and then we have a doji candle, and then a red candle, and now we have a confirmation here with another doji, or at least a little bit of a red that closed below that prior red candle. So what we should be expecting next is maybe possibly this sort of movement down towards the 20 EMA line. Um, so where would this weakness come from? Now let's go over Nvidia real quick. So here's Nvidia. And Nvidia has gone from a massive base rally. You guys remember when I was sharing Nvidia down here, saying this is a bull flag? Believe it or not, here we are, a few months later, and um, 2 months later, and look at this big rally that took place, team. Massive rally. So now let's take a look at what's going on with Nvidia. You see this big red candle here, this big red candle that ended up creating a peak for Nvidia. We had the same big red candle here that ended up creating another peak for Nvidia there. So after this massive rally here, after this massive rally, clearly with massive seller volume confirmation, what do we expect here to happen? Well, we now expect Nvidia to have solid resistance lines. Our first line of resistance is one, I'll do this one right here, 135.73, and then our second resistance line is so if, let's say, if traders end up entering on this, because here's what we expect. When we get a bearish engulfing, we may not just go down right away. Maybe what will happen is we will get something like that to come back up and then retest this resistance at 135.73. If we retest that resistance at 135.73 and we see clear weakness and these bearish engulfing candles similar to this one, we would expect price action to further pull back, and maybe even honestly, maybe even head back down to 110 area. So around 110 is where I would start looking for a buy opportunity on Nvidia. Until then, I'm not going to touch that stock, because we had a bearish engulfing here, and when we had that bearish engulfing last time, it was the peak. Any movement from there ended up getting shorted until we established further resistance. So if we take that concept, pretty much that setup there into consideration, it can either be 116 or it can be this one, which where I believe the potential consolidation might be for Nvidia. So my mouse is acting up again. Gotta get a new one. Gotta get a new mouse every 6 months because of, as a trader, you do so many clicks. You wear out the clicks, whatever the limit is, like 30,000 or something. But yeah, so far, team, we're coming down. I think we're coming down to like 110 area. We may come down to 110 area, maybe further establish demand there, and then go back up towards the 140s. So this is what I mean by the potential sell opportunities, or the potential sell pressure could come in from these major market movers, such as Apple, Nvidia, Microsoft, and so forth. Now, taking a look at Microsoft, that's one that I didn't look at. And for this reason, you guys, look how strong this stock is. My gosh, it wants more. It's so far away from the 20 EMA line, but it wants more. Wild. I think they could get more, but it will end up getting a wick. So if it goes to, let's say tomorrow we get a big breakout move to like 456 area, 455, let's just say somehow they end up getting more momentum, I would say that ends up basically being unsustainable, and would sell off at least until we get a nice pullback. Now, Amazon is on a bigger breakout here, on this massive breakout from that resistance, which we talked about 2 weeks ago. And yeah, so far it's bullish. It's going on that run, and we don't know how far it will go up. But taking into consideration how far we are away from the 20 EMA line, I can tell you that if they do get a big breakout candle tomorrow from this resistance there, it will likely end up selling off somehow. But overall, Overall, Microsoft is very strong. Now, taking a look at Apple here, Apple was having some very weird price action. Uh, there's two things that can happen. Maybe they'll print a massive demand candle into Monday session and basically head back up to, let's say, 214, and then resume this uptrend. Or what will end up happening is it will get some upside to, like, let's say 210 or even 211 area, and then sell off more. And I think if it sells off more, it will be a very, very clear signal that Apple is heading to at least 200 retest before printing some bullish reversal demand candle there, and then going back up from there. So I think Apple is another stock that can potentially bring more downside to the market. Um, Now, one of our team said, take a look at TSM. Honestly, same with TSM. I feel like TSM, very similar candle here, demand, but I don't know how to feel about this stock in particular. I'm not sure how investors see this one, uh, but I would say this is also greatly overbought, and I think with the chip sector, this can also see some selling, and that doesn't mean it will be the end of the trend. I think um, it's just to further strengthen the uptrend by having these healthy pullbacks, and then going back up to, let's say, 161 retest of the or 160s area, or even go down to 152, get their bot from there, and then move all the way back up to 184 and resume the uptrend. Um, I'm honestly not sure about TSM just yet. I would like to see more from it because it did show some strength. But considering that we are far away from the 20 EMA line, and just taking into consideration the semiconductor sector, I think this can sell off with the wave of the market. Oh, Bahar Trade. I was looking at Google. I don't have Google on my watch list, but that stock is looking seriously bullish, man. Like, look at this. Look at the volume, man. I was like, when I looked at it, I was like, man, what happened on Friday? I don't even know what I wasn't even looking at Google. But look at the volume. Is that even real? I mean, my gosh, my gosh. But yeah, I think Google's another good one to have on your watch list for the tech. And the good thing about Google is, I think it is part of XLK. Hopefully not. I thought it was part of XLC. Um, let's take a look. Oh, it's not. So yeah, it's part of XLC, which is really good, team. That means it's part of the communications, communications and streaming sector. Yeah, it's the second one with 14% next to Meta. And the good part about this is that this sector is still showing great strength, which means that the sector rotation can continue through the streaming and the communications, and further balance the S&P out with the market drop. So XLC does look somehow um, like we are going to continue to push higher, and that's going to be propelled by streaming platforms. Now, one last thing that I do want to check is Netflix has okay, good. Yeah, XLC is good so far. Since chips are bad, you think Nvidia will continue to sell off? If so, do you think I should close my position? As I shared my thoughts on Nvidia earlier, Jeff, I feel like I'm not saying that Nvidia will sell off more. I'm just saying I feel like now we have a established resistance at 135.73. So if we do come back up to 135.73, any way, shape, or form on any time this week, and we show weakness, then I would anticipate it to see more sell off. But in regards to let's say more downside, we will see this week. We will see. We will react to the data. But if we, let's say, get some sort of rebound, and we start to reject anywhere around here showing weakness, then yes, I would anticipate more selling first down to 117. And if further weakness there, and the daily candle closes very bearish, and the rebound after that is also bearish, it doesn't have any engulfing candles, demand engulfing, then I would anticipate that particular green candle at support to sell off below 117, and then head down to 109, which where I believe would be the major support for Nvidia, where the real the real demand will be. But yeah, that's my thought process on Nvidia. Just fastened up really fast. Now, team, let's go to in Tesla finally. This is the stock of the hour, team. Um, I'm really watching Tesla here, and what I would like our team to do, if you guys can, is find out when the court date is for Elon Musk's 56 billion package payout. This is going to be very, very crucial for our analysis. Tesla is starting to look somewhat bullish on all time frames. We have an inverse head and shoulders, which basically tells us, okay, price action was having lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower highs, lower lows, and then finally, what we have is now, instead of this right here being a lower high and us rejecting right there and going back down, what we ended up doing is we got a big gap up from earnings, and that gap up basically created a higher high structure above that high. So what that means is that high, this high was higher than that high there, and now what's happening is we're starting to see a higher low. So instead of us seeing a lower low, now we're starting to see a higher low. Why is that important? This is important because when we start to suspect higher low structures within a market trend structure, that signifies that there is let me show you here. There's a change of there's a change of the trend from such as, you see how we have lower lows, and then sometimes you will have equal lows, or sometimes what you will have is, yes, you will still print a lower low, but then you will have a big sharp rally that instantly creates a higher high, piercing above the prior high, as we can see right here at the 180.83 level. So now that we have this higher high, which was right here, what we have now, the stage that we are in right now, is this right here, the swing low, this higher low. HL means higher low. What a higher low means is this low is higher than that prior low. It signifies an increase in demand, where this particular low is higher than the prior low because there's more demand. So higher low is a bullish characteristic only found in uptrending markets. This is the DNA sequence for this particular trend, only found in uptrending markets. You're not going to see it in a downtrend. So that's why it's really key to pay attention to this. And if we do get that pay package for Elon Musk, the reason why it's going to greatly benefit Tesla is because it's going to make Tesla an AI stock. And if Tesla turns out to be an AI stock, team, oh my God, the potentials you can get from this. First target that we would be watching is 218, or honestly, I would say just 215 for now. 215, which would be the first target on this, on the news. As soon as the news comes out, the stock is going to gap up to above 200, and then it's going to make its way up to 205 to 210 area, even 215 area within probably a day or two. And once you're around that level, team, it's over. The stock is going to go and take out these highs one by one: 264, 278, 298. And yeah, so if let's take a look at other time frames. Okay, we looked at the daily time frame. Let's go to the weekly time frame. Here's the weekly time frame, team. Same thing. What is the weekly time frame backed by? Well, we have a bullish piercing candle here, where the weekly candle had a massive basically massive gap down from Friday's session of 147 down to 138, and then had a big right at opening session on Monday, had a massive up move that lasted for the entire week, where they fully took out the prior week candle. So that tells us the breakout was never confirmed below 160, which is that prior support level there, which saw some demand. So now we're starting to see an arch back up above the 20 EMA. And if bulls continue to show up, if the pay package goes through and bulls continue to show up, and you see that reaction, it's going, like, once we break above the 190s, team, this is going to like 230s, really, really fast. And the reason why is because it's this price is going to behave as a magnet to just get the stock back up above the 200 and then get it expanding away from the 200 line. So first, we're getting above the 20 EMA with the pay package core date. If we can find out when it is, or if we can get more details on that, we can really prepare ourselves to catch the next move towards the 230s and then higher. Are you going to get into a position with the expectations of the pay package being approved, or wait for the news? That really depends on you, Aaron. I got in. I'm personally, I'm bullish on Tesla long term, and based on my thought process, the judge did what is it, veto it. I don't know if that's the right word, but um the judge did reject the pay package. And what ended up happening is Tesla went back and had another voting, and they didn't change much about it. But I think this time Elon is going to convince the judge because of the unanimous vote. And I think maybe the judge will pass it this time. But yeah, if the judge does end up approving of the package, um, Tesla is really going to explode. And I think the first target for me is going to be 215 to 230 area, and then the second target is going to be in the 270s. What contract did you purchase for Tesla? I purchased the 300 for honestly, I have two contracts. I have the January 17, 2025 and the January 16, 2026 calls. For this one, I'm looking at the 250 call, and this one provides a 3-to-1 with a lot of time remaining. So the 250 call, it's a bit expensive. You can see why I haven't shared with the team. And then the other one that I'm looking at is the January 26, the 300 call. It's definitely very far out of the money, but for a trader that's just trading the premium of the price, I think this is a good contract. It's very liquid. It has 17,000 open interest. 17,000 traders are holding that contract. And yeah, it's definitely a good one with plenty of time. We'll take a look at some other short-term contracts for Tesla that we can take advantage of in the short term. Sorry, you guys, I'm literally I'm heavy breathing here because if you guys don't know, in California, especially San Diego County, for us, we're in the midst of a heat wave, and it's really hot. I had the AC on, and it kept circuiting and basically shutting the power off, so had to turn that off like hell right now. I even said it's hot like hell right now. But yeah, you guys, that about concludes my analysis on the market. Oh yeah, I got one more. I got one more. McDonald's here. So McDonald's is getting a beautiful retest at the 200 SMA line, team. Anytime we get a retest at the 200 SMA line and we get a demand candle reaction, that ends up getting a nice expansion move back up. So McDonald's has been on a correction over the last pretty much over the last 6 months, and finally it's coming back down to retest. We've already retested the 200 SMA line. We have a massive demand candle that's already transitioned from the TTM squeeze to light green bars, and this is looking to get more upside follow through, at least towards I would say our first target is 263 area, but most importantly, I think we can go to 267 to 269 area, which is good. We can continue to trade the upside for this stock. Bahar trade, McDonald's from 250 to 300 is a no-brainer. I have personally seen this move 3 times at least. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And very, very strong demand follow-throughs every time. So far, we have the right candle start, and we have it coming in with volume. I think this is a good trade to take for McDonald's. We can see the volume. Oh my gosh, the volume of above the 20 EMA was massive. So definitely be on the lookout, traders, and trade this beautiful setup here for McDonald's. Holding McDonald's August 265. Should I hold? Let's take a look at that contract. I actually like it. I like that contract. The expiration is very close. Sorry, the strike is close, and you have at least 40 days. So the 265 call is right here. Yeah, that's a good one. Are you green on it so far? Perfect, perfect. Yeah, so far you're in good hands. I think this can see more upside. Did I call out a McDonald trade on Monday? I mean on Friday. What trade did I call out? Oh, okay, okay. So I did call out one. I called out a McDonald's January 16th 300 call. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's a long-term contract, you guys. I'm sorry, I'm just an investor at heart. But yeah, so far I like that we got this contract here, team. I think this is good. I think this is good. I'm liking where we picked it up. So far, amazing setup on the daily chart. And for you traders as well, the setups that I shared with you, if you do see that they get a dip or something, definitely look in to see if they do have the opportunity to be traded again. So definitely trade them on your own as well. But so far, team, the setups that I shared with you are what I'm looking for heading into the next 2 weeks for upside. Now, last but not least, here, team, this is an interesting one. This is called Pool, and the stock is essentially Corporation distributes swimming pool supplies, equipment, and related leisure products in the United States and internationally. So the company offers maintenance products, including chemicals, supplies, and pool accessories, repair, and whatnot. And considering that we are heading into summer, I think this can be a good one. So I'm also watching pool stock here for a potential rebound. Now I did look at options. There's not a lot of open interest, so I can't alert a trade out like that. It just would be and honest to God, these kind of trades, like, yeah, they have wide spreads, but if you can catch them at the low bid spreads, it can really be good trades. And despite the wide spreads, I used to trade them myself. I just will not call it out for the team. But if I were to trade it by myself, I would be trading a move like that where I'd be taking advantage of the short term move. Um, I mean, it also doesn't have a lot of open interest, as you can see. So, um, yeah, it just would be good for a stock trader, maybe. We got volume and all, but yeah, not much options open interest for us traders. Now, team, if you have not been buying CRM, this is looking really good. This is one of the few tech stocks that I'm liking. uh CRM has been getting some good news here. I shared the analysis. um let's read CRM, and then that will be the end of today's session, team. um Again, we have a lot of these analysis on our weekly watch list. So, team, for those of you that are here, please do always check the weekly watch list. It's very important that you check the weekly watch list, because there's times, and I've noticed myself, and I'm really trying to I'll talk about it another time, but I won't always be able to alert. And somewhere that I always do keep up with our team is I share my setup on the weekly watch list. It looks like there's a new message. Let's see. Looks like Rainbond shared her analysis as well. She's got team, if we take a look at her analysis, you can see also, like, she's looking at Disney, right? And Disney is also a streaming platform. So to see that Disney is printing this particular formation at these levels, this is a good thing. This is good to keep an eye out for, because as we discussed, the XLC sector, although it is a technology, it doesn't look too bad. It's getting a big breakout on this rally base, and it's so far consolidated, and it looks like it may be getting an expansion. So if I go to analyze, you'll see that Disney is part of this particular sector. Yeah, right here. So Disney is about 3.8%. Um, And I have honestly been seeing some streaming platforms. She also shared her NKE setup. This is we discussed. Looks like she shared Amazon as well. My gosh, team, look at this one. That looks beautiful. That's a bullish ascending formation. So even if Amazon does spend more time here, I'm going to hold the January 17, 2025, expecting that 200 to come in. So I really like that analysis as well. But yeah, team, always check the weekly watch list and whatnot, because we do share some good setups that the team can pick up and trade on their own and pretty much take advantage of the markets. But yeah, that concludes today's session. Oh yeah, this is CRM. So last but not least, team, let's take a look at our CRM analysis. So for CRM here, for CRM, we are looking at this gap fill here at the 270s. The 200 SMA line is going to behave as a magnet. We're going to this is going to behave as a magnet for a pull of for a move back up towards 256. But my main target is this gap fill here at 271 from earnings. Despite lower guidance, the company came out and said that they're integrating AI tools. And something that I know about CRM is that they made their transition way ahead of time back in the 2018 and 2017. So this can be a great stock to trade in the upcoming weeks. But I think we would be able to see more consolidation here as well. We'll see, team. We'll see. I'm not entirely. That's why I saved CRM for the end, because it was something to be traded on Monday. But I strongly do believe that we will continue to get more upside. The reason why I think that this may slow down just a bit and may not break out right away is because I'm sensing some weakness coming into tech. But maybe this is a different type of move, because as tech was going up, this was as the tech stocks were going up, this stock instead was pulling back. So now that the other stocks are pulling down, this could get a pull. This could get an advanced move. That's all. Thank you so much for attending. Team, I will take a look at Meta as well. Let's take a look at Meta. Meta honestly is just consolidating so far. We caught this move, this bullish pennant move, this bullish pennant breakout, and our first, basically our target was the 509. We tested 509, and so far we have been somewhat digesting. So what I would be looking for on Meta is honestly just observing. I would be observing, and what I would do, the only time I would trade Meta is when I see a big demand candle come in. If you see a big demand candle, let's say something where it's engulfing let's say something like, let's go back to the prior uptrend. So let's say this is Meta, right? And Meta is pulling back and whatnot. And let's say we print a candle like this, these demand candles, this is when we will get back in. If we can get these kind of demand candles, this is when we will get back in towards the 523. So now that we hit the 509 target, we will walk away from this stock and until we get a demand candle, then we will target that level. But yeah, team, thank you so much for attending today's session. And really, really looking forward to the rest of this week. It's going to be a full trading week, so I'm very excited. And let's have an amazing week, you guys. And for the 2K cash account, I'm really excited. Let's get some trades in, you guys. No pressure, no pressure on me. Even if a trade goes wrong, I'm not too concerned, because this time I will not stop. I will not stop. I will not take a break from the 2K cash account. I will continue. We will continue. And yeah, we'll take it from there. Take care, team. Thank you so much. Charles, thank you so much. Ken, thank you so much. Sabha, thank you so much. Aaron, thank you so much. Tyson, um, RRB, RRB. I always wonder what RRB stands for. Lola, Hill, thank you so much. I'm really excited to be back on the 2K cash account. Let's do well. Are you still working with the same cash account amount, or have you done some adjustments? When are the weekly classes starting? I'll let the team know, Tara. Let's see if we will do it tomorrow. Honestly, we might do, sorry, not tomorrow, we might do it on Tuesday. I haven't went back and checked the voting. I will go ahead and check the voting tonight, and I will let us know if we will have classes this week, starting this week. But just know, I promise you, the moment we start classes, you guys, I will not stop. Even if I don't have anything to share within that given day, I'll just share something else. I'll discuss something else, uh, that may do with some other learning aspect. Take care, team. Have a good night. And I will post this on the weekly watch list as well.